Okay, so in this episode of DAWless for cheap, I'm just going to show you a subset of my very cheap DAWless setup here. We're all kind of returning with the circuit tracks here, which is I've already explained in one of my episodes, is the brains of the operation. It's quite a simple kind of a thing, but very easy to use and quite powerful. And this time we're going to be using, it's going to be integrated with an iPad. This is actually quite an old iPad. I think it's an old iPad Air first generation. I think I picked it up for about £50 a few years ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago. So you can obviously pick these things up quite cheaply. These things are actually really powerful. You can kind of run DAWless, DAWs on them, you know, iPad's own GarageBand, and you can also get other applications where you can kind of run a DAW on it. But that's not what I'm using it for here. What I'm doing here is basically using the circuit tracks to control two synthesizers, two software synthesizers in the iPad. And the way I do that is basically I'm taking this cable out here and feeding it back into the iPad using that cable and an adapter, feeding it straight in there, and we're controlling two soft synths. And I'm just going to show you how I do that. So basically, I have covered a bit of this earlier, but we've got some synths here available to us, two internal synths, synth 1 and synth 2, and then we've got two MIDI outs here, okay, and those MIDI outs can be used to control, you know, a variety of external synthesizers, okay, and in this instance I'm using it to control two internal synthesizers here. I'm just going to show you which ones. They're both by Arturia, but there are others available. That's the other one, okay. And what you've got to do basically is remember that each of these kind of synth sections here do output MIDI. By default, this outputs to MIDI 1, channel 1, MIDI channel 2, MIDI channel 3 and MIDI channel 4. You can change those if you want, but in this instance I'm just sticking with those. And what you've got to do, when you load up your synthesizers here, you've just got to make sure that these are receiving on the same channels that's being sent. The information is being sent from. So let's just come into here. If I have a quick look here, connect, and it's on MIDI channel 4. So what that means is that's receiving information from this MIDI channel 2 and vice versa on the other synth. There we go, that one there. So that one is going to, and this one's on MIDI channel 3. So, and what that means is I've set up some patterns here. I'm not going to show you how to set up patterns because, you know, you can find that elsewhere on the internet. If I just start come into my mixer, if I just isolate here MIDI channel 1, okay, press play, that is playing that now. And you might not be able to quite see it, but these keys are actually kind of moving down. You might not quite pick up on the resolution. There we go. And similarly, if I just introduce the other one, that's playing the other one. Now, one of the great things about linking these two is you can play this via this. This is set up in the kind of chromatic scale here. So you can play freehand if you want, like so, just playing that. And similarly with the other one, just a quick flip over. And actually what that means is you can quickly flip between playing one of the two synthesizers manually without having to kind of go in and swap around on the iPad. The other great thing about it here is that these controls here, these encoders, can be used to control some of the parameters here, which is a really fantastic feature, really tactile thing you can do here. I'm just going to show you how to do that. So that one here controls this one, and what you do, you click connect there, come into our MIDI, here we go. MIDI learn is what you click, so most of your soft synths will have a MIDI learn feature on it. What that does now, it's saying here's all these parameters you can control externally. You click one of the ones you want to control. There we go, so that one's there. And now what we do is move any encoder here that we want to control that parameter. So there you go, and you might be able to see here, it's kind of moving there, and I'm okay with that. And now I can click another one here, so I'm going to click on that one here for that one. There we go. I'm just going to stick with those two. I'm going to click on done. Brilliant. Let's just press, make sure I'm in the right thing. Let's just press play. Okay. it's, I don't know if you see that, it's altering that one, filter emphasis. And this one is altering the cutoff frequency. It's not actually having much effect on, oh there we go. And a bit, there we go. There we go. Obviously with different synthesizers, it's going to have different effects. Let's just swap over here. So the other thing is you can just swap synthesizers over on here. There we go. Parameters will still match. There you go. It's a bit more emphasis there on how it's all working. And as you can see, you can just come in now, come into our mixer, turn bits on and off as we want, the drums. There we go, come into our patterns. I've already set up a couple of different varieties of patterns on here. There we go, that's my tutorial for this. So really simple setup. This fits in with my other, like I say, bits of DAWless equipment. I don't always utilise tooth synths here, so I could use perhaps just one of these MIDI external channels on here, use another MIDI channel for another piece of hardware. Great little setup. Thank you very much.